Now then, welcome back to another episode of Agrarian Skies 2. How you all doing today? I've been setting up some stuff around here. Well, clearing out stuff more than anything else. This whole chunk here I've just been redesigning slightly. I've stopped needing all of the processing that's going on there just to be fully automated. So I changed it around a bit and upgraded it a little bit with applied energistics. So now we've got output interfaces on there and there which take the produce back into the system. But I've got these barrels which get water from the infinite water source here. I just tapped into that again instead of using anything else, aqueous accumulators or whatever, to continuously fill the barrels up with water. And these barrels are on mycelium, so they create witch water. And these barrels are on top of hoppers. That's all there is to it. This one here has got a program for putting clay, putting dust into those barrels to make clay. So if I wanted, say, a stack of clay blocks, it will put a stack of dust into this interface. It'll get sucked out and put into these barrels here. And then it will turn into, yes, it will turn into clay. Now I've yet to have a problem with it coming in and going into witch water. Because I don't think you can put dust in witch water. So I should think that that's going to be okay there. I could potentially have a problem if I'm doing this soul sand at the same time as clay, but we should be okay. And this one's put sand in there for soul sand. And that literally takes it out and puts it through here to make soul sand. The witch water, I think there's 9 of them. You can probably count them. There's 9 of them, yeah. All keep this 8 buckets in a node, right? So the nodes never start drawing water out. The water always gets chance to change to witch water because this is 9 lots of 8. So what's that? 72 buckets of witch water, and there's only 2 barrels using those buckets of witch water, and there's no way that I'm doing that much soul sand that it's going to run out and start dragging water from over there. But again, there is a potential. And there's a potential that if I'm running both processes at the same time, that I could end up with clay being produced in these barrels and then just sitting there. So I'm going to have to watch it, but I'll just have to be careful with it. It looks a lot more compact than I had it before, because I had it auto-sieving and everything before as well. But I've removed all the auto-sieving, and I'll change that around later. I've got plans for this little area to do more things with applied energistics and ex nihilo, to be able to order up goods when I need them, order up things when I need them. And I also put a little break there because I figured that's not exactly the center, because there's 4 chunks, but that's a nice point to come out from because the house is then more central. So from the house I'll be able to walk up and over that and go into the next ring around it because I can't go through those 2. What I want to do today is set up a kind of another one of these on this side for the bees. I figured that this power source here that we're using for sieving of the ores, or sieving of sand to make ores through the ex nihilo auto sieves, I reckon I could duplicate something on the other side that can do all the things I need to do for bees. And then if I've got a bee in particular that I want to automate, I can find somewhere for it to be, get it, on its own. I've had this running while I've been doing this, and we've just been making honeycombs, and I put some automation upgrades in it, which basically, when the, I think I explained at the end of the last episode, when the queen split into princesses and drones at the end of her life cycle, it automatically puts them back again. But nothing takes the honeycombs out. So I've got 2 of those that have been running meadows just to get honeycombs started. And I've got the centrifuge, which I can just put the honeycombs in and it'll make beeswax and honey. All my other stuff's in there at the minute. I think I actually got some more apiaries made. Apiaries. Yeah, I made 4 more earlier. I set it off to autocraft anyway. Let's dump that in there with those. So I've got lots of industrial apiaries if I need them to do processing and stuff. What I want to do, though, is I want to progress through the questing side of things a bit. We've got a lot of nearly done, or well and truly underway bits done, like the Mystical Blood. We've done a lot of blood magic, but we're not quite there yet. Thorncraft, we've done a lot, but we're not quite there yet. There's a lot of like second or mid-game stuff to be done still. So I just want to get the early game stuff done with bees and trees. And once I've got these done, 15 proven frames. Okay. I can claim that reward. Awesome. Once I've got those early game stuff done, then I can start looking at what mid-game, late-game stuff I want to do for each of those particular categories. Right, I'm going to make it day, have a quick cough, and do some crafting, and I'll be back. Alrighty, so I've been crafting for about 10 minutes, just crafting up the things that we need. I think the most complicated part that I've got is that all of these different components that I've set to autocraft, whenever I'm crafting myself without having an autocraft to do from, like for instance when I'm doing these upgrades, I'm looking at like the lifespan upgrade and I've got a ping and I'm missing bits. These are fermented spider eyes. Let's see if I can make some of those. I need some brown mushrooms. Awesome. Yeah, but doing the bits and pieces like we've just been doing the genetic stuff, so like the Mutron. There we go. Each one has many different component parts, right? And then those all require many different component parts. So I've got crafting available to do the component parts. So I can craft bronze ingots. I can craft power modules, which can be the pistons and the everything. Yeah, I can craft everything all by just clicking a few buttons. But when I come to do something like this, there's always bits missing. So I've still got to go in and craft it manually. And I only really need one of each of these machines. I don't need multiple machines. So I'm kind of done myself in by making all these crafting recipes, because I don't really need them very often. On this hand, however, these genetics labware I am going to need a lot, and possibly the encoded patterns I'm going to need a lot, and bronze I'm going to need a lot. So I've got those patterns in that side. But I'm just trying to get this final upgrade done, and I need some mushrooms. Mushrooms. I don't have any brown mushrooms. Okay. Well, how are we going to fix that? We're going to fix brown mushrooms by having mycelium. Yeah. Going to have some mycelium. I've got some mycelium, but I need to grow mushrooms on it. Did I have any brown mushrooms over here in this lot? No. Mushroom seeds. Brown mushroom spores. Okay, I've got brown mushroom spores. And are they from what? They're from Agricraft, so I should be able to grow those. Get some crops and grow some brown mushrooms over here. I don't need a lot. I only need 2 brown mushrooms. Okay, they're not going to go into that. They're probably going to need darkness or something, aren't they? Let's see about taking them underground somewhere. Get a bit of dirt. Have I got any mycelium? No, I haven't got any mycelium left. The dirt. Get a piece of dirt. I've got 2 options for this. 2 options. My first option is to have the mycelium grow out from here. Like this. And we just put that on the side. That should stop mobs from spawning. Let the mycelium grow out from underneath the barrels. Hopefully it will. Hopefully it will. And the other option is to find a dark place somewhere. I don't have many dark places to go to. Let's hack into this wall. Might be okay. I don't want to break anything. There we go, that's okay. Put that in there, stick that down. I can't do that without hoeing it first. Give me the hoe, give me the hoe. Have you still got a hoe in? Yes, you have. Good, good. I keep taking this one out. It's my potato supply. Boom. Okay, are you going to work in a dark place? No. Does it say anything here about how to grow these? Okay. Well, I'm not sure how that's going to work. I'm going to try the mycelium and just have mushrooms spawn on mycelium and get some brown mushrooms to do that particular upgrade. If that will actually work, then that's good. There may be an extra helio mushroom seed as well, like ancient spores or something. Spores. spores, ancient spores, yeah. Might be able to do something with those instead. I need brown mushrooms though. I used to be able to get brown mushrooms by growing big brown mushrooms, didn't I? Make mycelium there. There we go. And then maybe on there. Yes, okay. So on mycelium, the agricraft crops work. Makes sense. I kind of figured that out. But I wanted to test to see if it had to be in darkness, because this is right next to a torchlight, so it's not quite, is it? Not quite lined up the way it should. I've got some bone meal. I should just take some bone meal out of the system, really, but I keep wanting to use up the stuff that I've got lying around in chests. See, boom, boom, boom. Yes, and gimme, gimme, gimme. Okay, so we got some mushrooms. There's 2 mushrooms. That's all I needed for those spider eyes, wasn't it? Let's do those. Fermented spider eyes, should I say. Let's jump down here and do that again. Okay. So, spider eye. This fermented spider eye is that. 1 and 2. Thank you. Okay. And what was I making? Something upgrade-wise. Upgrade. I was doing the lifespan. Lifespan upgrade. There we go. Take that one. Or thumbs. Okay, so I think that's almost done everything in the quest. That's that quest line done, yes. Different upgrades can be used to change the temperature, humidity of the apiary. To turn to auto-eject or to mimic a specific biome. The mimic a specific biome is very important. Remember that one. And for this I get Trializer and a Hell emulation upgrade. That's basically emulates the Nether. That emulates the plains. That's the automation upgrade I've already done. That's a heat upgrade. Okay. Claim that reward. Awesome. I also made these 3 genetic sampler, the genetic imprinter and the genetic transposer, which is messing around with bean DNA. That's been around as an add-on for forestry for a while, but the Gendustry has taken it into a genetic laboratory level. But previously it was more a forestry add-on on its own. Now, I don't know how to describe it, but the Gendustry is a newer version of something that used to be something to do with bees, but never got called Gendustry. I make no sense today whatsoever. Right, I also made the Mutagens. The Mutagens are an important way of making this material. We're going to be, well, if you want to go beyond the bounds of normal mutation, there are and are tired of putting 2 different bees together and waiting for the offspring, try the Mutagen. Provide it with the Mutagen by melting redstone in the Mutagen Producer with 2 different species of bee or saplings. It will give you one of the possible mutations. There are rumours of a more advanced version that lets you pick the mutation, but that is probably a myth. No, it's not. That's real. Blank genetic samples, claim those. Okay. A grafter, very simple to make. 2 sticks and a bit of bronze on the end. Nice and easy. Someone said that might be an easier way of getting saplings. Yeah, like silverwood saplings. Gives me industrial grafter, which looks like it needs charging up somehow. And now, because we've got the laboratory set as well, these are just things that you need inside the laboratory. We get 4 light upgrades and a reward bag. Nice. Okay, what's left? So we've got samples of all the different produce that bees can produce. Now, that's something that's a long-term thing. That's a long-term project. There's only 16 of each, but that's not too bad. It's just a collection of things. Now, if we look at Silk Wisp, Enchanting Drop, Destabilized Drop, Pulsating Drop, Phosphorus, Refractory Wax, Amnestic Wax, don't know what that is, Magic Wax, Fire-Infused Dust, and Unusual Pollen. I'm not really sure that I need to produce any of those things en masse, because I've got all the productions, but we'll mess around with them and see what they do, and then I'll decide then. We do get a reward of this Viz Apiary Booster, which brings the Thorncraft and the bees together, and there's also a magic bees thing, so that's cool. And then I think these flowers Begonia are from Botania, so we're going to have to do a little bit of Botania to do these different flowers to see what happens. And then frames, impregnated frames, we've got to do some work to get towards impregnated frames. They don't take too much, get a bit of seed oil and make a frame and all that kind of stuff. I remember doing them a while back, I've probably forgotten how it's done, but yeah, we'll mess around with bees a little bit more. But let's get into mixing in with the other mods, you see. So, Thorncraft and Botania, and I think there's some blood magic stuff that gets mixed in as well. Alrighty, so what did we get for all our troubles? All that crafting of stuff, what did we get? We've got quite a healthy supply of basic bee stuff. We've got some genetic samples. Well, they're just templates anyway. That's a template with 7 chromosomes. Ignores night and day. Flowers. Humidity tolerance both 2. Fertility 3. Tolerant flyer true. Tolerance both. That's quite good, that is. That's like pretty ideal. And there's another blank one and another blank one. They're blank ones. Okay, so we've got a decent genetic template to add to our bees to make them good for the sky blocky. That's alright, that's cool, I like. But I want to show you at least the basics of how I'm going to set things up. Let's open these reward bags first. What we got? Oak, acacia, jungle wood, yeah. And 4 golem and animation cores. Very nice. I like golems. I don't know what I'm going to have golems do around the place yet, though. But anyway, yeah, we'll deal with that another time. Okay, so I'm planning on having this area here as the few machines that we use regularly for bees, as it's going to tap directly, as you probably saw the reactor taps in my inventory, tap directly from the reactor. So I'm going to go there and there, I think. Yeah. Grab it. I'm actually starting to run a bit low on Yellurium. It's not processing as fast as I thought it might with this sand. I may have to increase the speed of the sand production, the sand sieves, because, well, it's just not producing the Yellurium fast enough. Actually, I did have another spare one somewhere. This is the one that I come down to when I want to just do a little bit of something sieved quickly for me, instead of having to stand there and do it myself. Let's put 4 in there and 4 in there, and I don't think I need to do these speed upgrades in here anymore either. Yeah, let's take 12 speed upgrades out of that one and 12 out of that one, because they should be able to keep up with everything nicely enough anyway now. That's good. Okay, and we can increase the speed of these guys to 20. Yeah, that should work. If they start running out of sand, then I will increase the speed of these guys to make the sand faster. That'll work. But hopefully we'll get some more Yellurium and catch up with Yellurium, because that one's full. But there's the main one that runs the AE system back here, all the way back here. This one was virtually empty last time I looked. Yeah, look. So I'm running down on Yellurium, and when I needed to make, not the reactor casings, but when I needed to make those taps, I found that I was out of Yellurium, so I couldn't make enough for the caps. So I had to steal some from my reactor in order to get the blocks I needed to make these 2 taps down here. But anyway, that doesn't matter. I'll look into that and try and speed things up a little bit better later on. Why did you end up going that way instead of that way? How could I possibly have placed that block right there? That's odd. Okay, let's take that. Thank you. And give it back. Give it back. Yep, I need that. Alright, so I've picked this spot because I've got access to one side of the reactor. It sort of will line up so that this side and this side are kind of in equal distance apart, with a 3 wide gap going into it there and a 3 wide gap coming into it here. It kind of just sort of fits. And also we've got applied energistic system right there, some cables for it there. It's already using about 3 or 4 channels. But I'm not going to need that many channels, I don't think. So we're going to bring it off here. Like that. And I'm going to set up my machines along here. I think I probably want to bring it up again somehow. I need to transfer power around. I may have to bring it across onto this and take this back a level. Just so I can bring the power in along to power the machines, and then still have the applied energistic system coming up underneath it. Yeah, that should work. And then I can just sort of cap that off and sort that out in a similar sort of style to this. Nice and simple. Yeah. I may bring the applied energistic system up here. But I'm going to mess around with this more off camera because that'll take me ages to set things up properly and figure things out the way I want to. So what we're going to do first off is we're going to create some mutagen. And for that, I'm going to need some redstone. So we're going to have an export bus. We've got a few. Good, good. We're going to have, I may as well carry a couple of those and some cables for it. This is another thing that I'm worried about, is that I'm going to overload my channels on this section. So I may have to do a little bit of rewiring down here in this section to do things. Okay, so Mutagen Producer, let's put it just there for now. It gets power, it takes redstone. I think there's a recipe here, let's have a look, yeah. To make mutagen, you can put redstone blocks, glowstone dust, glowstone blocks, yellurium ingots, and redstone on its own. Redstone on its own only gives 100 per, whereas a block of 9 redstone gives 900 per. So it takes 1 million RF for that one and 1 million RF for that one. So it's much better to do block of redstone because you use the same power as just using a single piece of redstone. But you get 9 pieces of redstone done for the same power, basically, if you get me. And the glowstone, there you get the same amount used up for 1 block of glowstone, which is 800 mutagen, whereas a piece of glowstone gives you 200. So for the 4 glowstone making a block, it's also cheaper to do it block-wise because it costs you the same power. You get the same amount at the end result, but it costs you less power. I'm not really worried about the power, but there you go. And I'm definitely not going to use yellurium to make buckets of mutagen unless I can get my yellurium production up really, really massive. So I'm going to work on getting blocks of redstone into there. Now we're going to need a crafting recipe for a block of redstone, which I don't think I've got already. Or craft them up myself. I suppose I could do this manually, but I want to keep it topped up really. So we're going to make a crafting recipe, ding ding, for block of redstone. There we go. And that is going to go, well, just in any one of these for now. Have I got spaces in these? Yes, I have. We put it in there for now. Okay, so a block of redstone in there. I'm also going to need a crafting upgrade, which I don't have. Don't have any on me. That was the one I want. Give me that. Thank you. So what am I short again? I'm short the crafting table. Craft 1. Or 2. Why not? Okay. And then give me one of them. Give me a crafting upgrade for the export bus. Okay. And then we're going to go over to underneath the Mutagen Producer. Just here. And I'm going to put an export bus on that. Let's put the crafting card and that in it now. So we're going to put a crafting card in it so that it allows crafting behavior. So we're going to make it do redstone blocks. Okay, so it's going to use stocked items or craft items while exporting. Yeah. The other options, I think I've been through these before. Don't use stocked item, only craft items while exporting. And just use stocked items. So basically use all my stock up and carry on crafting it if not. So that should put mutagen redstone blocks in there. In theory. Yeah, let's connect it up and hope that it does. Because it might be that you got to have a different particular location for inputs and outputs and stuff. See, no, it's doing it fine. So that's going to keep putting blocks of redstone in there. It's going to use 1 million RF to convert that block of redstone into, is it 900 mutagen, just underneath a bucket of mutagen. Okay, that's the first stage, mutagen production. Now I may change around how this looks. I may put this down there, for instance, and have it receiving the redstone blocks down there and then pulling the mutagen out, because I don't really need to see this again. I don't really need to be able to click on it. These guys over here have all got machine purposes and recipes in the back, so if I want a redstone furnace something, I can cook something up quickly in there, or if I want a fluid transposer, add something for resident ender, I can quickly do that there, and so on. I shouldn't need to touch this Mutagen Producer ever again. The redstone should just fill it up and then I'll have a reserve. So I might not have that on the surface up here. But for now, I'm just going to show you how it works. Over the next thing then, the Mutatron. The Mutatron, I'm going to lay it down, but I'm going to make an advanced one. It fills up with power, and it fills up with the Mutagen, which we've just been creating. And you put the lab gear in, genetics lab gear, which is fairly easy to make, 16 of them, but it costs you a diamond for 16. Not really a problem in the situation I'm in. Then you put 2 bees in, or you put a tree and a pollen or something like that, and you get options. Well, no, actually, you get a random chance. If you've ever done bees before, you put 2 bees in your apiary. You just get a normal apiary. You put 2 bees in like this. You put a princess and a drone, and it may make a queen of a different variety when it grows up. You genetically breed them together as such, whereas the Mutagen does it automatically for you, which is pretty cool. Thank you, I'll take it that way. But I want to make an advanced version. In the book, you remember it said, come on, let me down. Let me down my own ladder. Dang it. Okay. In the book, you remember it said something about an advanced mutagen. Yeah, there are rumours of a more advanced version that lets you pick your mutation, and that's probably a myth. It's not, unless you've disabled the recipe, Jaded Cat. It is not a myth. Mutagen. Yeah, there we go. We've got 3. So we've got the Mutagen Producer, we've got the Mutatron, and we've got the Advanced Mutatron. The Advanced Mutatron requires a Mutatron, even. So we've got that. What are the 2 things I was missing? Those 2 genetics processors. Okay. Let's make 2 genetics processors. There we go. Start craft. Awesome. And genetic processors. There we go. That one there, that one there. And we get the advanced mutagen instead. So we're basically upgrading the mutagen. There we go. Okay, so we're starting filling up there. It's millions of RF. That's why it takes so much. This uses so much RF that big reactor is probably struggling to keep up with it. Look, it's really, really hard work keeping up with it. It's only throwing in a few hundred RF at a time. Which means maybe I need to fill this up a bit, because it's also going to try and provide to this as well, and this is going to take a lot as well when we're doing it. But anyway, let's get a fluid something or other. Shall I try a fluid node or a fluid duct? Fluid duct would require a servo, whereas a fluid node, I've got one, and it should just automatically transfer them. So I'll transfer the fluid over. And this is what I mean, I don't need this on show, because I just need to have the 2 pipes going in. I need a pipe for the mutagen, if it allows it to take mutagen. It has taken all the mutagen. Takes all the mutagen and drops it off into there, look. So I only need that pipe going into it, and I need a power supply going into it, and that's those 2 things. The rest of it I access to do things. Yeah, so we're going to have a quick go at mutating a bee. Not because the quest book has told us to, but because I want to. Let's take anything out of here. Let's try a tropical drone and a meadows princess. Just because I want to show you what it does. Okay. Right. So we put the genetics labware in there. We put our queen in the top, our drone in the bottom, and it gives us the options of what we can mutate it into. So if I click this, I get a common queen, right? So Meadows Princess and a tropical drone makes a common queen. Now that's a chance normally when you're doing it in an apiary, but in the Advanced Mutagen, it's a guaranteed result. So it's a guaranteed breeding. So I'll breed and guarantee me that I'll get a common queen at the end of it. Just like that, see? And then I can run this common queen through a cycle in one of the apiaries, which I could potentially just set up a few apiaries with automation upgrades. I don't have any automation upgrades on me, but I can make some more and just have some apiaries set up on the back of the system, just so that I've got access to the sunlight, and I can just go, okay, well, now we've got this, we'll pop that in there. It receives power straight away. I can automate it. I can even use the applied energistic system to pull out the produce. And there we go. That's the sort of setup I've got in mind, so that I can make any bee I want using the mutagen, and then just run it a few cycles. get some of the produce that we need, and, well, some of the combs that we need. Make the combs go into a centrifuge, all combs going into a centrifuge, to get the products that we need, just to complete those product quests. And once I've got these product quests completed, I will know whether I need to mass produce any of these, and then I will just set up one of these industrial apiaries next to a centrifuge, auto-feeding stuff into an applied energetic system. Sounds really easy, doesn't it? It is really easy, but there's lots and lots of different bee types to work through. Princess. Yeah, so princess. This is 2 pages worth of princesses in this pack. 2 pages worth of different types of bees. That's a lot of types of bees. Big bad princess. Oh, cool. Okay, there's some new stuff. A lot of these I've had before. Poultry princess. That's weird. Beefy princess. Porcelain princess. Beefy. Was I going to make steak and stuff? Oh, man. Okay, well, yeah, there's lots and lots of these bee types. Okay, lots and lots of bee types. But each one has a kind of a mutation. Oh, we can mana infuse a floral princess into a Vasby princess. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Yeah, but most of these will have a recipe that involves breeding, but it doesn't seem to be enabled. Yeah, the cultivated and that doesn't seem to be enabled. So we've got these mutations though. That's the main thing. The Mutatron has 20 different pages. That's 40 different mutation recipes that I can do to get into the different bees that I want to get into. A lot of them seem to be making commons. Yeah. Oh, there's bee breeding. There is actually bee breeding charts. That's good. Okay. And there's loads of ways to make it common. That's good. I'm glad there's a bee breeding thing in there. But there's normally a percentage chance that it happens, whereas the Mutatron does it 100% of the time. As long as you supply it with the Mutagen from here, which we should also have an unlimited source of. Yes. Okay. Awesome. I'm glad you all understand that. Every last little bit of it. I'm sure it all went down very, very easily to the ears. I will see you tomorrow for some more. I'll have a little play around with it, I think, and just see if I can set up something cool looking, so that we can have all the different bees whenever we need them. A little bit of a laboratory area. Doesn't need to be too big, and it's not going to be massively over-automated. Just enough so that I can just poke my head into a box and get the GUI open and make bees when I need them. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. I will see you tomorrow for another episode of Agrarian Skies 2. Goodbye.